Good evening, and welcome to Nodding Off Theatre. I'm your host, Chad Greensby. Tonight's offering, A Cosmic Cowboy by J. Nathan. Called him a cosmic cowboy, 6-gun was his name. He dreamed of an open prairie and longed for a home in the range. He chewed a digestible tobacco derivative some say preferred over food. Odd sort, they'd say, real odd. But they all seemed to like him nonetheless. All along the shipping lane, 6-gun was truly a legend. He had somehow captured all the raw grit and courage associated with men like Wyatt Earp, which is unusual these days considering how tranquil the galaxy has become. There isn't a need for aggression or the need for taking any unnecessary risks. All hazardous jobs are now being done by intelligent machines, NTs as they are called, capable of motor manipulation. But 6-gun, he was the exception to the rule. While he might use an NT to load and unload cargo, that was all. Darn things. Don't trust nothing that don't look you in the eye, he would say, with his thumb stuck in a gun belt that supported his twin pearl-handled, Western-style hand lasers. He had boasted of being able to cut a diamond at 100 paces. No one ever challenged that claim. Most people thought it best just to leave him alone, and he did seem to prefer it that way. It could be rather amusing at times, how he'd tip his hat to a female and say ma'am, how he'd sort of saunter into a room and insist on sitting with his back to the wall. He'd say it was something to do with being a gunfighter, whatever that is. Oh yes, and his peculiar way of talking, rather long and drawn out like y'all, for instance. Also, he seemed to be at one with the fair sex. Occasionally, he'd invite a female to his living quarters, promising to show her a real man. And one such female said that the walls were decorated with ancient two-dimensional visual replications of an extinct creature 6-gun called a horse. And she insisted she had a lovely time. He dreamed of an open prairie and longed for a home on the range. 6-gun was said to have furnished his quarters with items he'd purchased at a museum auction. Museums these days are practically obsolete. People seem to have better things to do than spend time visiting relics from an inferior past. And that's why it's so hard to believe this misplaced cowboy all decked out in chrome-colored chaps and spurs. Now and then he'd be seen with a circularly round coil of a rather long fiber substance strung across his chest. He'd say he was ready for a roundup. Around where, people would inquire? If the time barrier had been broken then, 6-gun would surely have gone home. But as it was, he intrigued us.